Hello, welcome. It's Doug Cunnington here, and this is the weekly live stream, and we're going to cover, well, whatever you want to cover. I don't have a specific topic in mind. I think we're going to hit some normal Q&A. We'll talk about, what did I title this? How to get traffic and keyword research, which I just filled in. And let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I can hear myself, so that's good. I think that's working. I see Amit is here. I can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Sam is around. And Rich's domain also coming in from Arizona. So thanks everyone for hopping on. We do these every week, usually at this time. It's 11:30 Mountain Time. Sometimes, especially over the summer, there's a little churn in the schedule, but I think we're going to be in this time slot for a little while. It kind of works out perfectly because it's like just before WP Eagle Alex Cooper does his live stream typically. Sometimes his schedule changes too. But anyway, let me know you can hear me. Oh, Learn Medicare Billing is on too, and you can hear me. Awesome. We got Simon on too, and Zach as well. So I was just, you'll notice I'm wearing the Mile High Fi t-shirt. I was just recording an episode with my co-host, Carl Jensen. There's a link in the show notes here, but that's another podcast that I do. It's about financial independence and personal finance in general. And we talk about other stuff. Like the episode today, we were talking about fitness again, which is a topic that he and I just talk about anyway. So we caught up on that a little bit, and we did a little interview. So definitely worth checking out if you're interested in that sort of thing. It's a little bit different than what we cover here. And Jeremy's on too. Cool. So if you all have any questions, feel free to ask. We can get into them. All right. And we have one coming up here. Moaz says, do you prefer the long tail keyword? Yes, most of the time. And the long tail keywords, usually they're lower competition and they're easier to rank for. You often can find tons of informational long tail keywords, which is kind of a good move these days. And Sports says, where do you sell the t-shirts? So they should be available very soon. This is one of those that has taken a while. So I don't mess around with the t-shirts. I don't really care, to be honest with you. But my co-host, he's more into the t-shirts. Like he wanted to do t-shirts right away. So he designed the t-shirt and it looks cool. He, got a supplier. There's it's good fabric and stuff like that. And, there's a ton of them online. He set it up there and I was fine with that. I'm happy with like a quick implementation. It's ready to go. People could order. And there was a shop out there. I don't know if it's still out there, but basically he set it up with the help of someone else on a Shopify situation. So the margins are slightly better, but in my opinion, it's like a nominal gain. Like we're saving a little bit of money, but it's not like we're going to sell a ton of t-shirts. So overall, you can't get the t-shirts. You should be able to get them in the next week. So there is an episode coming out soon and the t-shirts should be available then. And we have a couple different options. All right. And it's Johan. Johan over there. Okay, cool. Good to see you, Johan. All right. So before I answer more questions, thanks everyone who is on here. If you have the ability to hit the thumbs up, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay later, the thumbs up helps my ego, and I hear it helps in the algorithm. So that'll be good. Quick couple other things. So you can get notifications for these live streams. YouTube is not that reliable. There's a link in the description. I have a free mini course coming out very soon. It is going to be next week, July 4th through the 8th. It'll help you get focused on your site, whether you're starting from scratch or you want to grow an existing site. It's a 3-part free email series. You can follow the link in the description there. I have a couple sponsors. One is Odys Global, the source for aged premium domains. I'll play a clip from them when I need to rest my voice in about half an hour. And then the other is Ezoic, and they have a tool called Leap. It'll help your website load faster. I've been working with Ezoic for a couple years, and I really enjoy working with them. So definitely check it out. They don't have any page view minimum, so you could actually sign up basically once you start your website and get some things published. You should be good to go. And finally, Content Pit. I worked out a deal with them. 10% off. You can use that coupon code. It's valid until the 30th. So you got a couple days left. So check it out. It's only valid for the first 50 orders. I'm not sure how many are left. So you may need to get in there, but all of those links are in the description. And I appreciate it if you do check them out. They make the live streams possible. So even if you're not going to buy anything, if you hop over and you say, hey, thanks for supporting Doug, that is very extremely helpful for me. Okay, let's get to it. Let's answer some questions. Z says, when we talk about low keyword competition, what is the critical factor? Forums in the SERPs, low domain rating in the SERPs, low content. I don't know if there's a universal where you could say, if you see this, it's always true. I think there's always going to be some variables in there. If you are trying to narrow down the low competition keywords, I would say most likely, as long as you find very low search volume keywords, you're probably going to be operating in the right place. Then if you see evidence like forums or poor quality content in the SERPs, that's probably a good thing. And I was doing a coaching call yesterday, and the person did a really good job doing competition analysis. They were a student in the course, so they went through the full set of exercises for competition analysis, all the pre-research to do the analysis. They did all of the stuff that they were supposed to do, and that's a great exercise. They actually were able to rank their site, and it earns money, and it's that's the goal. However, he was talking about doing more and more competition analysis, and I was like, once you are kind of established, like, you may not have to worry as much. So depending on where you are, like if you have a site and it's getting a lot of traffic, yeah, you can certainly go after low competition keywords. Those are going to rank faster. But you can also, go after higher competition keywords as well. All that to say, if you find generally low competition keywords, you maybe don't have to overly analyze the SERPs and look at the forums and all the other stuff. You could just feel good knowing that people are searching for that term. There's a handful of searches and it's a long tail keyword. Everyone views that a little different. It also depends if you're trying to build like a giant site with like thousands of posts, or you want to have like several dozen. So, all right. And the reason why is there are more long tail keywords. It's just the nature. All right. Gadget says, I have an affiliate website, which I have mostly written commercial content, but the problem is not getting more traffic. Please guide about informational content. So can you rephrase your question? I don't really understand what you're asking. Basically, for informational keywords, there's a couple videos where I do a demo and I show you how to find informational keywords. But generally, if you put in your sort of main keyword topic area into Google and start looking for the people also ask in related searches, you'll start finding informational keywords. So even if it was a product, you'll probably still find some informational keywords where people are asking a question or they're looking for like some how-to information. So from there, you write the content. And if you can do it however you want. Usually there's a few types of content. So maybe it's a listicle, maybe it's how-to, but really you're just writing an informational essay. So you just write the content in the best way that it is presented to help the user. So if it's how-to, maybe there's an intro paragraph, and then you list out all the steps. Maybe there's images to go along with it. If it's a listicle, then maybe you do a little intro, you list out all the items, maybe there's some kind of picture or illustration to go along with them, and some links to support whatever it is you're talking about in the list. So pretty straightforward. If you don't, I'll come back to a couple things if we run out of questions, but it looks like they're coming in, so this is good. All right. We have Simon asking, do I still use the keyword golden ratio? Yes. But keep in mind, I've never used it exclusively, nor do I recommend that people only use the keyword golden ratio. But yes, it still works. Get emails all the time saying that it works. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Worthy of me, hello. How's it going? Moaz says, how to rank on Google with images, niche. So I haven't focused on image search in the past on purpose. So I would say title, whatever the image is with a keyword, use the keyword probably in the file name. And if there's some caption or other description around there, also use the keyword or related keywords. You don't want to keyword stuff, but basically be sure you let Google know what it's all about. Z also asks, is Keyword Chef good for a new website? So Keyword Chef is a keyword research tool, and it should be fine for any website. And generally, any keyword research tool is going to be fine for a new website or for an old website. They're all pretty much, I mean, they do different things and some have different strengths, but they're pretty much just a tool. There's plenty of them out there. You can find the one that you like to use. So Keyword Chef could be fine. 10 other keyword research tools could be fine too. All right. Sonia says, some of my blog posts only bring in 30 page views a day, about 300 a month. Is that normal? I mean, I've heard bloggers getting 6,000 views from one article. So that could be fine. 30 page views a day. It depends on the relative search volume, right? So the search volume that you find in keyword research tools, those are just estimates based on historical information. So they're not exact. However, it does give you an idea how much traffic that keyword might bring in. Typically, whatever you see in the keyword research tool for an estimate, there's a good chance if you rank well, you'll bring in more traffic than whatever the estimated search volume is. The reason why is because there's a lot of other long tail keywords that people use that don't normally show up in a keyword research tool because it gets so few searches. Maybe the phrasing is weird. Maybe someone uses like voice search and there's like extra words in there. But basically, you'll probably get more traffic than whatever the search volume estimate is. That said, your question is someone's getting, you're getting 300 views a month, and then you've heard from other people that get 6,000 views on one article. And then there could be others where they get, 30,000 views on one article. But you could be comparing like apples to something that's not fruit, like a car. So it might not even make sense because you're comparing an article that's a product review with low search volume, and maybe your site's new, and maybe you're comparing it to someone who has like a 6-year-old site, huge search volume, big site. So the context is really important. So whether, is it normal to get 300 views a month or 6,000? They're both normal. Like, that's totally fine. All right. And keep the questions coming here. Marcus says, hi, Doug. What are some other traffic sources besides Google? I'd like to diversify a bit more. So I'll just list out some. YouTube's really good for traffic. You have a bit of a benefit, I think, using YouTube, because if you're ranking for some keyword or your video is related enough to some other topic area where it's suggested often, you have the ability to have like a sort of evergreen SEO situation where you can get traffic on an ongoing basis. Of course, rankings shift and new videos come out all the time, but you can have sort of lasting traffic coming from YouTube, assuming that the viewer has a reason to click over to your website. So you'd have to make sure there's a reason for that. Or you have a lot of social media platforms. So I would look to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, other social media that is big in your industry, and you can potentially get traffic from there. The good part with social media is they're usually not a direct competitor to your website. So if you reach out to them, they're more willing to cross promote. Where if you are, talking or you're emailing and you're trying to just network with other competitors, other websites, then they're less likely to work with you. Another search engine that you can play around with, which I don't use and I've never been successful at, Pinterest, but a lot of people are like, yeah, Pinterest brings in a ton of traffic, blah, blah, blah. One thing that I do see, and I don't use Pinterest, I'll like Google something and like Pinterest results will come up, and then I click on that, and then it's like a Pinterest page, and then I don't know, like I try to click on those, sometimes it doesn't go to the website, sometimes it's just on a pin. It's kind of useless. So I literally never will click on a Pinterest result, because it's like a layer of, I don't even know why. I don't think Google should put Pinterest boards in the results. It's virtually useless to me. Am I off on that? Like, let me know. Do people actually, who uses Pinterest here? If you see Pinterest in the results, do you follow that and go to the Pinterest results page, where I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with that, basically. Okay. And I think those are pretty good. You could also look at other areas, like, and I haven't done this, I haven't checked it out, but you could try to post on LinkedIn. I've seen more people try to do that recently. I don't know if it works very well, but social media would overall be the angle. Hi, Haim says, how much will sales increase if you put affiliate links with sticky banners at the sidebar or at the top or bottom? I have no clue. It may not help at all. It could help a lot, but there's no way to know unless you try it. So give it a shot, and then you could tell us what your results are, because no one can tell you what's going to happen. Like, even if you go to the affiliate manager for whatever you're selling, they also could not tell you. So why don't you make an assumption, test it out, see what happens. Simon says, do I use AI tools or content? What do I think about it? Well, it didn't take long to get to AI content. I don't use any AI tools. I haven't been impressed with them so far, but to be fair, I haven't checked them out in a little while. However, I just published a video. So Simon, you should check this out. I interviewed a guy named Bennett, and he was able to use an AI tool and rank basically a brand new site in under a month. We don't know how long that's going to last, but he's been able to do it. And for the people that watch more often, like Jonathan, What's Going On, or Cyprian, basically I need to test out some of the tools. And I've mentioned it several times. I mean, I don't think it's a secret. People ask basically every week about this. And I haven't tried the tools because when I tested them before, they were really shitty. And I wasn't impressed. And what I'm told is essentially my expectations were too high. But maybe they work better now too. So you may check it out. Some people are like, yeah, I used it to write this and it saved me, 80% of the time that I would spend. And then other people are like, I tried to use it and it was just not good enough. So I would have to edit it for a while. But other people are like, if you configure it properly, like it'll help speed up whatever you're doing. I don't think they can work well without someone going and editing it and making sure it's clear and not repetitive. All right. Best in India review says, please tell about recent Google update because my website traffic 2.0, how to recover. So I don't know. I would say improve your content and publish more content and get backlinks. So you could check a couple of the videos that I've done recently where I talk about the update, and generally there's no solution. Google has given us some general yet generic ideas about what to do, but it comes down to, make your content better, publish more good content. And they don't tell you to build backlinks, but that helps out. Backlinks are important. Sorry to hear your traffic went to 0, but tighten up your content and that should help in the long run. You're not going to see like an overnight turnaround. Worthy of Me says Pinterest is good for recipes. Okay, so Georgie's barking upstairs. Okay, Marcus says, good suggestions. I have a Facebook group with 22,000 followers and it's growing rapidly. Awesome. I'm also using this group to get email subscribers as well. That's perfect. You need to focus more on YouTube. Cool. So if you have 22,000 followers and it's growing, that is fantastic. And I would definitely, I would work on getting them on your email list and engaging in other ways. So one thing to layer on top, if you are into like Instagram or another social media platform, if you do have the desire to spend time and create on the other platforms, then it can help strengthen the relationship, and then people just have more engagement with whatever it is you're doing. And, if they see you on Facebook a little bit and they see you on Instagram a little, and then they're also on your email list, so you can actually contact them directly, that is fantastic. All right. And a quick note, if you ask a question and I didn't get to it yet, it's because I didn't get to it yet. And you don't have to put it in more than once. So if you do put it in more than once, then you're just spamming the chat. So don't do that. All right. Cyprian says, if I find an image, I like it, and it takes me to Pinterest. All right. If I find an image I like and it takes me to Pinterest, I nope out of it instantly. I click on the Pinterest image to go to a site. It asks me to log in. I log in. It shows me more related pins. And I don't even think I ever went to the point to log in, but I'm like, this is not what I'm trying to do. So, okay, you explained it perfectly. It's like you can't actually get to the content. As far as I can tell, could be wrong. And the thing is, like, certainly, if I logged in or like if I tried to investigate, then I could potentially figure it out. But life goes on, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have time for this. Jonathan also says, I never click Pinterest results either, unless I suppose I'm looking for something image based. Okay. And then Johan says, in my opinion, it is good for us to see Pinterest in 1010 sign that keyword is possible to rank for. Oh, you're saying, okay, if you see Pinterest in the top 10, it's a sign that you could rank for it. Okay. Marcus says, Pinterest is for inspiration stuff. Okay. Interesting. Nomad Overseas says, as far as I know, Pinterest made changes during COVID to strongly discourage external linking from pins. Sam never clicks on Pinterest. So it sounds like I'm not far off. The user experience, if you are not a Pinterest user within Pinterest, is very bad. And Pinterest doesn't want people clicking off the platform. So you basically can't get it to any of the useful information, as far as I could tell. So that said, is anyone in the audience getting any traffic from Pinterest? Is it still worthwhile to even do that? Are people not using Pinterest? Or the people here not using Pinterest, period, so we don't want to see Pinterest results, yet maybe there's a whole bunch of people, whatever, hundreds of millions of people using Pinterest. So there's a huge market, but it's kind of untapped because it's not us, it's other people. Interesting. Okay. I think I skipped some questions here. Jonathan says Alex is enthusiastic about Twitter at the moment. Okay, interesting. I never got into Twitter, and I'm not sure why. I think it's just like it fits in with a lot of the other social media where it's just like I don't really care that much. But it's really good to connect. I know people have been able to connect with a lot of folks that maybe they wouldn't be able to email, but on Twitter, you're able to have a little bit of a dialogue and it works out well. But yeah, I never put in the time, and yeah, that kind of that's what I do for a few major areas where I'm like, I can't do it. So some people like it though. Jonathan also says, I'm sure I heard you say a few weeks back that you're sharing a niche website builder case study, but you haven't been able to find it. Yeah, so there's a couple videos on it. There are a couple podcasts on it too, and I will be publishing more, but I'm waiting for some more results to kick in. So I think in the last 3 days, I published the last set of articles. The general idea with a case study is publish about 200,000 words, something like 180 articles or so over the course of, it was going to be 4 months, but I think it might be close to 5. I can't remember. Any delays were my fault. They delivered it on time. So basically, as soon as I started publishing, traffic started picking up on the new content. So when I just double checked, I mean, it's getting like the new content is getting a few hundred visitors per day. So it's working out very well. Jonathan, I did publish a blog post over on Niche Website Builders. I think it was like the first update. I sent them another one. I don't know if they published it yet. So I need to check with Mark and Adam and see what's up. I sent it like fucking over a month ago. And I think they had someone out on vacation or something and it got pushed behind a shelf or something. So I don't know. But yeah, it is working out. Now, the tricky thing with this particular case study, while traffic is growing, the EPMV is kind of dipped a little bit and has been a little bit lower. So earnings are creeping up and traffic should be growing, I would say, like over the next 6 months, because I am publishing more. And once you publish, it takes a little while for things to catch up. But basically, the traffic looks awesome. I'm really impressed with how that picked up right away. The earnings are lagging, but it's because of other economic reasons. All right. And then Johan says Pinterest is an excellent place to get people to come to the site. All right. Okay, Sonia has a good question here. I'm going to come back to it. Any tips on avoiding burnout as a blogger? Is there a way you schedule blogging in your daily life? And I am curious again because the fine audience has so many good ideas, and you just told me a bunch of stuff about Pinterest, which is exactly what we need to know. What tips do you have out there? Whether you're watching the replay later, leave a comment, or you're here now. Any tips on avoiding burnout, a way to schedule things in your life? And Sonia, tell us also, like, are you blogging full time? Do you have like a busy schedule otherwise, family, full-time job, and you're trying to blog? What's your situation to put the context into, so we all understand? If you have a chance to hit the thumbs up, folks, that will help out. Marcus is going to look into YouTube and add more social channels, and you want to keep things simple. Yeah, I want to keep things simple too. So I usually only focus on like one or two areas, and then I can layer things on later. But simple is better for sure. Yogesh says, please discuss the best way to create authority backlinks. Do comment and forum backlinks work? Comment and forum backlinks can be done. They probably won't help grow your authority, and I would not consider them authority backlinks. If you have a comment or a forum backlink and you get traffic through it, that's another story. That's probably a good thing to have. Usually it's pretty relevant. As far as getting, the best way to create authority backlinks, most likely that's going to be through networking and like actually meeting people, maybe even in person, reaching out on social media and making a, deeper connection with people so that you actually can get the backlinks. Sending out a shitload of emails may get you a handful of backlinks, but these days, a lot of people are getting those constantly, so they're not nearly as effective. That said, Haro link building can be great. Those are going to be authority type backlinks. They may not be niche relevant specifically. However, those can help boost your authority quite a bit and have a diverse backlink profile. And yeah, these days, the backlinks are hard to come by, especially without paying in some capacity. And what you really want to do is just make sure you're not getting links from like a link farm where they're just publishing all this content in many different areas that is not really, number one, not really helpful, because you can kind of see they're all posts that are trying to give backlinks to specific sites. So if you get, high quality backlinks that are niche relevant, those are probably going to be the best. All right. And More the Ami says, have you gotten some traffic from Pinterest, but you never put effort into it? Cool. A Nomad Overseas says, I remember seeing that it was mostly women using Pinterest, but they were more likely to spend money. Would be good if you were linking to your own products on Etsy and alike. Yeah, exactly. Like, know the audience and like what, does that audience fit the customers or visitors on your website that make it profitable? That's a perfect way to look at it. And Johan further says, have in mind that Pinterest is not social media, but a strong, he says browser, but it's like a search engine is what people tell me. It's like a search engine, and people go there to search for stuff, but just most of the people that are on the chat here are not the people using Pinterest, but obviously a shitload of people use Pinterest. And what do you mean? Says, I don't think Pinterest is the appropriate search engine my viewers would use. And that is what I also arrived at too. And since I'm not a user, I stick to the stuff I know pretty well. The bonus with Pinterest is traffic to the site is buying traffic. Okay. Pioneer Smoke says, but about 60 days ago, my impressions went to 10%, and now it's a waste of time. You're still looking at it. And for reference, this is about Pinterest. So you were getting traffic from Pinterest, but the impressions went down. It's a waste of time. So you're still looking at it, and you had a VA making 13 pins 1 week per month, and it was budget friendly. Huh. All right. Cool. Thanks for the people that hit the thumbs up. KVT says, what's the best way to formulate a post in terms of keywords, fitting keywords in a post to get maximum traffic? So this is an interesting question. I think you're asking what your keyword ratio should be. And it's funny, we used to have these conversations all the time. It's like, how many times should I put in the keyword? It's a lot less important. I would make sure the keyword's in the title and once in the body of the copy. And I would have a few other instances of either synonyms or partial match keyword phrases, and maybe put one of those in as a subheading. But overall, don't overuse it. That's the bigger sin. As far as like maximum traffic, that would vary from niche to niche and keyword to keyword. So it's kind of it's a pointless or it's not a helpful question to ask, because there's no answer to it, basically. All right. Bill says, you're late. You have to catch the beginning afterwards, but you're here now. So that's great. Thanks, Bill. And KVT, yeah, just don't overuse your keyword phrase. There's no ideal number of usage, and, formulating, like, the best thing you can do is analyze your competition and see how many times they use it, and then be in that average range. You can, right? Obviously it's a reasonable question. The specific way that you asked it there, I can't answer. But there's a whole industry now of tools that help you optimize your content based on keywords and the usage by the competition. So if you want to formulate the right way to do it, which I don't mess around with any of the tools, but there's a bunch of them out there, and you could go check them out and pay for the service if you think it's a valuable thing to do. Marcus says, a lot of people say you need a lot of visitors to earn money. What if you have very few visitors, but they buy subscriptions, so you get reoccurring high commissions? Few visitors, high earnings. Then that's great. Then you don't need as many visitors. Yeah. I have generally been in that area where it's more like high ticket kind of items, not as much traffic, and just you earn more per visitor. So you don't need as many visitors. All right. Awesome questions here, and we'll keep plowing through. John says, I started my new site and I love writing for it. It's still in the sandbox, and traffic went up last month on my first site, then dropped 44%. Your advice is bang on, work on one site at a time. You can't do both. Yeah, thanks. I learned that the hard way. So certainly I thought, like so many people, that I am a unique, special snowflake that can actually work on two things because I can multitask, and I am so productive that I can do 4 sites at the same time and it will be fine. But it turns out that it's just more stressful and you'll probably do a worse job. So you're not special. I'm not special. No one's special. And it's just more stressful if there's overhead for each site. And I know some of you, I was sitting right where you were, and you're thinking, well, I am actually a little bit better than average. And you know what? Half of you are, probably. but most of us aren't. So, and it's just, you'll make more progress. You'll get a better ROI putting the effort into one site for a very long time, like much longer than you think. Jonathan says, I did hear the potential of Pinterest to drive traffic was affected, but I don't know if it's true. If it's true, it's a shame some people managed to get Mediavine quickly. Khalid's on, what's going on? And on that note, Jonathan, I mean, it's basically the same. It's the same story over and over again, just different platform. So big Facebook following, and then you can't reach your audience. And then on Instagram, they switched up the algorithm, and then Pinterest, they switch it up. Like, it's always like, if you're getting traffic from another source, like YouTube also, you are working on someone else's platform, and their goals typically don't line up with whatever you're trying to do at all, like not even close. So you have to keep that in mind. And that's one of the reason, I do these live streams, I publish my interviews. And I mean, technically, YouTube is a wonderful source of traffic, and it's fun. I mean, I enjoy it. And like, there's a great community, but at the same time, the burnout will set in. So I will come back to Sonia's question here, but basically, like, I've gone through all the iteration of, trying to write and like burnout writing and working on too many sites and burnout that way. I was working a full-time job and waking up at 4 a.m. to get more stuff done while I was fresh to work on my own projects. And then work would get the leftovers. And then, YouTube, you get great benefits. There's traffic, people sign up for the email list, which you can sign up for my email list. There's a link in the description. But if I played along too much with the metrics and the analytics, and I was like, Google is telling, or YouTube is telling me that these videos are doing best, but I don't want to create those videos, then you end up in a spot where you're doing work that you're like, I don't really want to do this. And it's like, I feel like I have to do it. So I stopped doing that. And I was like, you know what? I'll do a couple videos that are maybe more analytically driven, keyword research driven, but most of it is just going to be what I'm doing anyway, and I'll publish it, and it's been working out fine. It would be better if Alex Cooper, WP Eagle, is a great example. He does a really good job, publishing a great balance of what the audience wants to see, what new audience members want to see, and what he's interested in. And that's great. And I get burned out faster, and I got a couple podcasts too, so that takes up time. But anyway, building on someone else's platform is always a little touchy. So that's why I was saying before, with the Facebook group and Marcus, like, really great to get them on your email list so you can run with it. Okay, Jonathan says, so it's published on the Niche Website Builders site itself. There's one update on the Niche Website Builders blog. You'll see it's something about a case study. And then we're publishing some on my podcast, some on my YouTube channel, and some written stuff over on the Niche Website Builders page. And I'll probably publish some new stuff coming up as more results are coming, or they're showing themselves. All right, John says, hope you're well, Doug and the dog. Yeah, doing good here. Okay, and Sonia says you have a full-time blog, your full-time job, and you're blogging part-time. Okay. So as far as the burnout, I think it's really important to manage your energy levels and have realistic expectations. So if you do have the full-time job and you're having a hard time carving out time, for me personally, it was better and easier to wake up early in the morning and then get out the best work when my brain was the freshest, and then the full-time job got the leftovers. And then if you are managing your energy levels properly. You'll know certain things you enjoy to do, certain things you find draining and you don't enjoy. Maybe you enjoy it and it's draining, but you'll have to maybe time when you do that certain work. If there's certain things that just suck and they're really bogging you down, you may have to cut them out. So, for example, I found the social media piece, which I alluded to earlier, to be draining and not fun. And it wasn't quite clear what benefit I was getting out of it. So, okay, I used to like post stuff on Twitter or like, tweet it out. But it wasn't like part of the community. So I was just like spamming out my links and no one really cared. A couple people would find it, but I was like, you know what? I don't like it. So I'm just not going to do it. And there's plenty of examples of people that, maybe they spend almost all their time on Pinterest and they have no YouTube and they're able to make it work. Or maybe they're using TikTok and they're making that work. So what you can do is figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and just don't worry about the stuff that doesn't work. You can try to like be everywhere, but that is like a fool's errand. That is going to drive you crazy if you're not into it. If you give a shit about all the platforms, great, go for it. But if you don't, it is okay. And you can, give yourself permission to just work on the things that you want to, and you'll be better off. You won't burn out as quickly, and take a break. The other thing is take a break. And I think that's what Jason's getting to here for the burnout. I've been walking 30 to 60 minutes a day for the last 3 months. And are you walking or working out every day? So, and that's another thing. I walk, a lot. So I walk the dog, and I think in the last like 3 months I've been averaging about 15,000 steps a day, something like that. So part of it's just walking. Occasionally I'll jog. I do some light weight training, nothing crazy. I know I look like a professional bodybuilder, but I'm not. I just do some pretty light weights. And exercise is key, getting enough rest, which is certainly in opposition to waking up early and just carving out time. But if you are getting burned out, when I get burned out, usually it's because I'm not sleeping enough and maybe I'm trying to do too many things at once. So just really being conscious about like when you need to turn it down and just take a break. And I tend to get more stressed out when I'm not rested. And if I sleep well and sleep a lot, then I feel pretty good. And typically, I think I'm sleeping about 7, for the year, maybe about 7 hours per night. And I try to get 7.5, and I'm usually pretty good with 7, but if I can get 7.5, that's really good. Just got back from vacation and I was able to sleep, I think like 6 times out of the last 2 weeks, I was able to sleep over 8 hours as reported by my watch. And that is fantastic. I mean, I felt like a different fucking person. It's absolutely amazing when I'm well rested. So that's another piece. Again, direct opposition with like the hustle culture and wake up early and all that stuff. But I'm not a fan of the hustle culture. So, but I know that if you have a full-time job and you're trying to do this, then you may have to carve out time from somewhere. And for me, early morning was a good time to do it. And John does say pins are good to grow a community and for branding. Okay. Worthy Me says, I feel like burnout with blogging is the same feel of writer's block for writers. You probably have to push yourself to do it or even treat yourself to something good after you write a blog. Yep. That could work too. You could have, some people do good with like negative sort of penalties, and like if you don't reach your goal, or to reward yourself when you do. So you could figure out what works for you, if that'll motivate you a little bit more. Khalid says, are algorithm updates making it easier for new and small sites, or it's just getting harder after an update? Some of my sites hit positively and some negatively. I don't know. I haven't heard any specific information about new or small sites and them being impacted more or less than larger sites. So I'm not sure. Don't know. And Bill says, have an outside hobby, so at least one day or one evening a week, you're totally off the topic of your site. Also, it helps if that involved meeting or people talking about other things. So basically, don't just focus on your site, have other things so you can get a break, which I think, that's kind of the broad sense of what I was talking about. Like if you can take a break from the things that are stressing you out, it will make you feel better. And Simon says, most affiliate sites get traffic from Google. Is it worth growing a Facebook profile, group, or whatever? It's true. Most affiliate sites get traffic from Google. So I would only worry about the social media pieces if that's something that you enjoy or that it's important to you. I know for my, niche site project and like this channel, I know some people have Facebook groups that are huge, like the Niche Website Builders Facebook group. It's huge and they are, doing well with it. And that was like one of the core pieces of starting their business over there. But for me, I don't like Facebook groups. So for me, it's not worth it. Even if it would be a really good way to build the audience and, have a group and be able to reach out to them. But I don't like it. So I don't do it. So only you can decide if it's worth it for you. Marcus says, if you have a site, you ask them to join a group, organize giveaways. Okay, so you guys are going back and forth about the Facebook group stuff. Okay, and Jonathan says, you're really interested in the experience with Niche Website Builders because you're contracting them for a done-for-you site on an age domain that I recommended. Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that'll turn out too. Very cool. Okay, yeah. There should be, like I said, there's a couple videos out. There's a couple podcast episodes, and I'll do a couple more as well over the next month or two. And Bill says, my mad abstraction is moving plastic and metal soldiers around a tabletop. Wargaming. None of those I play with have any interest in affiliate marketing, but conversation is a great laugh. Okay. That is interesting. Wargaming. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. I'm going to roll a quick ad. I'm going to let my voice rest for a second. This one's from Odys. That's Odys. From our sponsor, Odys Global. They're the source for premium age domains with strong branding and powerful backlinks. The featured domain for today is called NavajoLegends.org. It is a website that used to talk about Native American folklore, Navajo stories, myths, including mythical creatures and animals, and all sorts of other, I guess, traditional stories. So it was created back in 2012, so it's 10 years old, and has a domain rating of 13, has 152 referring domains, and about 94 of those are do follow. This would be, actually it's a little bit something outside my normal area, but you could, of course, publish a lot of informational content. I think the stories and folklore would go along with it, but I don't know what you would do for maybe product reviews. I do like to have a little bit of product focus, not for all the content, but maybe for a little. With this, I'm not sure what you would do. I think maybe you could do some investigation, but you might be able to partner with creators over on Etsy, for example, that are making handmade stuff, and you could promote their products and build relationships there. It would be a little bit outside of the box, but potentially there would be a little bit less competition because you're focusing on a different portion of the market. Just an idea. I haven't investigated, but it's something you could look into. On the informational side, of course, you could sort of target parents and teachers that want to teach about the Native American traditions and other ideas like that. So you potentially could investigate a little bit, see what teachers are into. And the thing is, you may not have as many, pure informational keywords in the same way that we think about it normally. However, that maybe introduces an kind of an opportunity to get traffic from different sources. So that's just an idea, and it's something that you could look into. So there are a bunch of awesome backlinks from big sites. You got Medium, Wix, you have Wikipedia, The Guardian, Fandom, Vice, Stitcher, University of Michigan, Substack, Podbean, and so on. So tons of backlinks out there. And if you do want to check it out, it is available over on Odys. And if you join Odys using my affiliate link, you can get $100 into your account. And if you make a purchase, I might earn a commission. So thanks a lot to Odys. And let's get back to the show. All right. So thanks to Odys, like I mentioned before, even if you're not going to buy one, it does help out if you hop over there, follow the link, and shoot them a message. Let them know that you appreciate the support. Okay, let's blast through some questions here. And don't forget, you can sign up for the free mini course. It's coming out next week, July 4th through the 8th. It's free. It helps you get motivated and pumped to work on either a new site or your existing site, and kind of helps you focus up a bit. So it's free to sign up. You'll get 3 emails next week, and the link is in the description. All right, KVT is rephrasing. He says, sorry, I mean, how many keywords do you use in a post? Primary keywords plus people also ask, how many secondary keywords should be included in the post to get maximum traffic for the post? I still don't know, even though that you rephrased it. I don't use that sort of methodology. So if you know people that tell you, hey, how many primary keywords, how many secondary keywords, you can ask them what they do, but I don't think about it in that way. So you really should put however many secondary keywords, and you should really think about it as like topic areas. So is this topic relevant for this main topic on this page? And if so, maybe you put that section in. So I don't think about it that way, so I still cannot answer. And I think you can use that methodology and it would be fine, but I just don't think about it that way. Okay, Cyprian says, I posted 84 blog posts in 7 months. They're all 2,000 words or more. New content gets to 100 to 200 page views in their first month. Posts from 1 to 3 months barely get 30 page views per month. Is Google ranking new content faster? Is the old content still sandboxed or something? I don't know. That is interesting. That's interesting data. It could be around the specific keywords or the quality. Is there any difference in the quality of the content? Is there any difference in the internal linking structure? Are you consistently linking in the same way? Are you linking to your new articles? Are you linking to your old articles? Is maybe the new content higher search volume? All these other details. So as far as Google ranking new content faster, I don't know that to be true. I haven't heard that from anyone. I haven't noticed it with my content. Is the old content sandboxed? I would say probably not. It still could be, but if your new posts are getting more traffic, then I would say your site is not in the sandbox anymore. So it'd be odd if old content was sandboxed longer than new content. That doesn't make sense. All right. Marcus says, what are your thoughts on cookies disappearing? What do I think will happen with affiliate marketing? I have virtually no thoughts on the cookies disappearing. I think everything will be fine. And there's still going to be advertisers, and the sites are still going to have traffic. And I think the advertisers and the people that help us will sort of figure out how to show ads in an effective way. But I'm not worried about it. All right. And Jonathan says, are you using a DSLR? Yeah, so this is a mirrorless. It's a Canon RP, but I also have a T7i. The lens is the Sigma 18-35 1.8. It's very good. I like that lens a lot. It's a little bit heavy, but it's fine for a tripod setup. It's a little heavy for vlogging though. And I think I put together like a kit over on like kit.co, and I think I put like my setup in there, but yep, the main thing is the lens. Like I could use a Canon T5i or a T3i or something like that, and it would look pretty much the same because it's all about the lens and the lighting. So I actually have, I can maybe go a little bit wider here. Yep. So there's a light over there. So it actually does like a vignette around here too, but I have a light over there to get a little backlight. And then there's kind of there's the same light over here. And then I have a little tiny ring light that I just had like an extra one right up there just to fill in the shadow. But the lighting is very important. And actually, like the funny thing is the webcam that I have is not, it's nothing fancy, but just having good lights. Like here's the webcam view. So it's not as blurred in the background, but it still looks pretty decent. So this is just a Logitech. It is a 1080p, but it looks pretty good. And then the DSLR is here. So actually, I may even be a little bright. Now that I'm looking at it, might be a little bright on the DSLR, but anyway. Okay. Pioneer says, since you have a good sub count on YouTube, can I give tips on how to get the subscriber count up? Yeah. So the big thing is just publish a lot of videos, and you can start developing your skills, and you could figure out what videos seem to resonate with the audience and do more of those. Like that's the main thing. What you want is people to see your video and then think, I want to subscribe. So you may notice that I almost never say subscribe to my video. If you watch most of my normal videos, I don't even say my name, right? People can see like what the channel is. People know how to subscribe. I ask people to like the video here because we're having a bit of a dialogue, but in my videos, I don't do any of that stuff because everyone does it. And now it's like just people don't even hear it. If you're like, subscribe to my channel, it's like people already know to do that. If they want to, they will. It can be helpful to like grow your channel and have, more people watch it and all that stuff. But really, if people are not subscribed and they're watching the videos, like the more videos will be recommended to them, whether they subscribe or not. And if they get to the point where they really want to subscribe, then they will. The one thing that I have heard a couple of the people that I watch say, not in the marketing space, but they're like, hey, a lot of you are watching the videos, but you're not subscribed. And if you help, it helps my channel. So if you want to do me a favor, like subscribe, that helps my channel. I know you're watching the videos, but you're just not subscribed. That's a way to do it. But yeah, no one needs to be told to subscribe. Okay. Affiliate marketing says burnout can be super rough. There have been several times. Yeah. So, and Pioneer. So overall, not helpful, but it's like make videos, see what's working through the analytics. You can see what's what videos are driving people to subscribe. So I do go, that's one of the metrics I do look at, like which videos are bringing in the most new subscribers. And I try to see if there's a bit of a trend, or if I'm like, this kind of video brings in new subscribers, do more of those. A lot of times it varies, so it's harder to draw a conclusion, but it does give you data. Affiliate marketing says, I usually try to find the fun and curiosity in what I'm doing when I get burnt out. And Marcus says, I have a dog as well, but he's constantly sniffing around, so I'm not walking that much. Yeah, and Georgie, she moves pretty fast. Yeah, she moves pretty quick, so get a lot of steps with that. And then affiliate marketing says, hustle culture is crazy. You've been down the rabbit hole, and better to be slow and steady and deliberate. Yep, 100%. I mean, it's so stressful. And basically, I think if you adopt or sort of fall in or go down the rabbit hole with the hustle culture, like it's pretty much never enough. Like you can never do all the work that you might need to do. And, I have some friends that are like, oh, I want to make X amount, like a crazy amount of money. They're like, I want to make like, over $1 million a year, basically. And I'm like, what are you going to do with all that money? Is there a point? Or are you just going to like burn out? Like there's no, if you're competing with someone else, there's always going to be someone ahead. Like you're never going to win that game. So, all right. Learn Medicare billing says, when you update content, you change the publish date. Sometimes I do. A lot of times, you'll just maybe note at the top, like last update or updated, and then put the date. So, if people don't notice the publication date, like they see it like right at the beginning of the copy. So that's one thing you can do. Sig says, can a neglected site go back into the sandbox? I've added a few articles which are KGR to an old neglected site, but after a few weeks, they don't show up on Google. Is it better to start a new one? I don't think it's better to start a new one necessarily unless there's an issue with the old one. However, I do think a neglected site can kind of be in a quasi sandbox situation, and you may have to publish more content. You may have to sort of revitalize it, get some backlinks, get some traffic to it from maybe non-Google sources, just so Google's like re-interested in your site again. I don't have any data on that though, but I've definitely seen sites where they kind of had to get kick-started again. All right, and coming up here. All right, so Sam says, oh, Niche Campus, what's going on? Good to see you. Sam says, I saw a snippet yesterday that said published 8 days ago. Yeah, interesting. And then Jonathan says, do I have the Sigma open? Yep, it is at 1.8. It is at 1.8. Yep. Occasionally, if I'm shooting back there and there's a few people and I need a little bit more depth of field, I'll bump it up to like a 2.8, something like that, to give us just a little bit more leeway. All right. Simon says, what to do with ranking articles? Edit it next year or write another one changing the date? Edit it. You would want to edit it most likely. And then Worthy of Me says, I figure if people can handle my sassy attitude, then they'll sub. Yep, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, Sonia says, I feel I'm plateaued at 30,000 sessions. I posted another 25 articles. Okay, cool. So basically, one good piece of data from the Niche Website Builders case study, like my site was on a sort of growth trajectory. It sort of leveled out and it did plateau. And as I publish more content, it has been growing. It's slow, but I can see that more people are going, more posts are ranking. And I think hopefully, Sonia, over time, like you'll be able to report back and say, yeah, there's more traffic popping up. So, and Marcus says that Alex is watching me. So I think he's already started his live stream. This is going to be a weird, like, Inception kind of situation. But Sonia, yeah, report back and let us know. It'll be interesting to hear what's going on. And one thing, to rope in some of the other questions, I'm going back, like on this site that I'm talking about, there's going to be something like about 400 articles or so, maybe a little bit more. And we've basically almost doubled the content. Not quite, but close to double it, say 40%. And I'm going to go back, and I may have, 1 to 2 people just going back and improving the old content, because it's something that will have, it's the type of keyword where changes do happen and updates do need to be made. So it should be part of your practice to go and update your old content. Sometimes there's not much to go off of, right? If it's a informational topic and there's not any discoveries happening, there's not new stuff happening, then you might have to sort of make up new things to add in there. I mean, factual things, but you may have to go search and, like, all right, I got to put some more stuff in here. In the particular niche that I'm in, there's changes happening all the time. There's new updates and there's new information pretty much constantly. So I'll be able to go back and, not all of the old content, but a good chunk of the old content, I'm going to be able to go back and update it, or someone as a VA will be able to go back and update it. All right. And Alex is here. Sweet. He is on. I don't know if he started his live stream and he's in the chat too. It's going to get crazy. Okay. And Doctor says, I don't speak English. I try to earn dollars as an affiliate. Cool. And you're unemployed selling something, but you're trying and you're living in Brazil, such and such. Okay, cool. And Sonia says, you've noticed an increase of 200 page views a day, but it's pretty slowly increasing. You just want to get to 50K so you can get an immediate vine. You're tired of hustling. I feel it. All right. I think we are towards the end here, and maybe I'll hop in and say hello in the chat over on Alex's. Do need to give a shout out. So don't forget the sponsors. We got Odys, we got Ezoic, we have Content Pit. That deal is just around for like a day or so more. I have a podcast and I really want people to listen to it. We talk about affiliate marketing and SEO, some other random stuff. I interview, a lot of it's the same interviews, but sometimes I put more stuff on the podcast. So it's over at the Doug Show. You can find it on all the big directories. And then I have the Mile High Fi podcast as well. Talk about personal finance and financial independence. And Jamie is on. What is happening? And I think what we'll do, I think we can wrap it up now. I think we got to all the questions here. And what I have been doing here recently is just playing guitar on the way out. Some people like it. I think some people hate it. If you don't want to listen, then you can stop listening. And if you want to, then you keep listening. So we're gonna scooch it down here. Just the standing desk here. Oh, and I did see we got a question here. We got a couple more. I'll hit them before I start making noise here. Bajwat says, what's the advice of the prospect of a blogging site only on mindfulness? Would a memorization, what would be the monetization for the site? It would probably be display ads and potentially some affiliate offers for mindfulness products. Could be courses, Could be apps. That's the route I would take. Geeky Buck said you got to prove the Ezoic, but it slows down your site. Should you stick to Adsense? Probably not. So you're probably going to earn more with Ezoic, but there's a tool called Leap, and you can get that set up, and your site should load fast after that. And the side note, right? So you have to think about it this way. Is your goal to have a fast loading website, or is your goal to earn money? So ads will definitely slow down your site, whether it's AdSense or Ezoic or Mediavine. Any ads are going to slow down your site. So is your goal to earn money, or is it to have a fast loading site? Certainly there's a blend, there's a balance in there. It's not like one or the other, but you have to think about it that way. So ads are going to slow down your site, but if you want to make money, it may be something you have to compromise on. All right. And Cyprian says you love that Doug gets you pumped up to write more, and Alex is a perfect post stream to listen to while pumping up the content. Perfect. All right. People are hopping over to Alex's and stuff. Jason wants me to play. Okay. And we'll get to it. So it'll just be, a minute or two here. Oops. That's spring. And I never know what I'm going to play. And I'm just noodling around, so I usually try to remember what I was goofing around with like yesterday or something, but it's very inconsistent. And whenever I finish playing, I'm like, oh, I've fucked up a lot more than I would have expected. But it's because, well, people are watching. But it's also because I don't know what I'm going to play, and I haven't played today. I use these finger picks my friend was asking me the other day. So I have like a little thumb pick here, and then I got the metal, so you can hear it a little bit better. All right, I'll catch y'all next week.